We've got a ton of windows on this new sunroom model from Keystone Hideout, but is it overkill or is it awesome? Let's go take a look. Come on. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Miles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here today taking a look at the new 2026 Keystone Hideout. It is the, 315 Sunroom, I believe? Yeah, 315 Sunroom layout right here. And this is going to be in that entry-level travel trailer segment with the aluminum siding, wood framing. However, they are using that more flat aluminum siding, so it looks a lot better than, like, you can see the smaller model hideouts here that have that more corrugated aluminum siding. This here more, you know, not completely flush, but definitely more flat on that aesthetic there. And this is a little bit bigger than some of your other aluminum sided RVs, but nonetheless still in that entry-level segment. But this is certainly going to be one of those models that potentially might be something that somebody, you know, sets up at a property to be a home away from home. Maybe it's something that you put on some land to live in for a period of time, or various things like that. Or obviously you can take it camping as well, but definitely designed to be almost like a little estate on wheels here. So curious what you guys think as we go through it. As we step inside, it has a pretty, you know, kind of like monotone interior color scheme inside of here. So lots of grays, not a ton of slide outs on this travel trailer. So really just the one little small box right here, which will keep the weight down on this camper, as well as just give you, you know, minimal slide outs that you're dealing with here. But the space inside of here feels really nice. I actually really like the dining table here in the middle, that circular dining table, giving you essentially 4 spots to sit here, and 2 maybe if you're, you know, having a placement setting like this, since the table is not like significantly large. But obviously the standout thing on this camper is you have this huge window coverage right here. Now I can tell you, in my Alliance Delta travel trailer floor plan that I picked out, I do not have great window coverage whatsoever. And I do actually fall into the camp where I understand why window coverage would be nice and why having this would, you know, be preferable. I already hear the criticism and the critique, and that is that this is going to be something that is really susceptible to, you know, poor climate control inside of the RV, whether it be hot or cold. But certainly when it's hot, you know, if you have the sun hitting on these windows, it is definitely going to cook the inside of this RV. So that is something to be considerate of when looking at a model like this. However, you have to understand too, you do have the awning that is covering all of your windows here on the outside. So to keep the sun off of your windows, you can extend this awning out. The only time that may become an issue is if it's very windy outside, because the wind can rip your awning off. So that's something you have to be aware of. But the awning is very long here. You have 2 supports here when you move the awning in, and you have the LED light strip underneath the awning as well. So curious your thoughts on what you think about having this much window coverage on an RV. If it's awesome for you, or if you think it's just overkill and unnecessary. But I'm kind of split on it, honestly, from my own opinion. I'm split. Looks like we have a 50-inch screen TV. I will say those 50-inch screen TVs in this, whenever they're sitting on the back wall like that, always feel a little bit small to me. And it's a bummer because it's in that retractable setting here, so you can't really change the size of that TV. The only way you could put a bigger TV in here is to forego that system and put it on top of that TV when that TV is in the down position. Big window along the back wall as well, plus right here, and you can see you have the curtains on all these windows. And then as we go down to the sofa area, you have an L-shaped little sofa here. It's not tremendously huge or anything like that. Like, it's not big enough where I can actually fully lay out. Now, if I'm sitting into the back corner, you can see my feet go up to right about here. But if I were to fully lay down, my feet are definitely going to go up over that footrest, being 6'1". So not horrible, but it's just not huge either. Looks like this will become a bed portion, so there's a bed underneath here, which will turn this whole entire area into one bed space when you make this into a bed configuration, which is pretty nice. And we do have a single recliner right here, so that will recline out, and then it should lay back as well. Also notice you have a step down into this area, so you do have the one recliner right here. Oh, it's a little, don't push on it too hard though, because it's not like secured into the floor. And then as we turn back around this way, it looks like we have the Furrion Chill Cube AC right here. So that's going to be an 18,000 BTU AC. in the space, has the articulating opening right here. So that will pump air through this whole space. The nice thing about that is a powerful enough air conditioner that as the air is blowing out, I mean, you can't actually feel it all the way in the kitchen from right here. Last couple things around this TV area, we have our fireplace, nice electric heat source for you in addition to your furnace, which is running through the floor. And then we have some storage space around here. Your cabinet doors, they are wrapped. You can always tell a cabinet door is wrapped when you look at the screws here, and you can see that wrap material kind of flaring out there. So it's not a solid wood cabinet door, it's just a wrapped cabinet door. And then we have outlets and USB ports right here. So we turn back around this way. Going back into the kitchen space, going to have a Furrion refrigerator and freezer. Good size on that. And then the freezer portion, nice and large as well. 12-volt refrigerator and freezer. Do have your stove up against the wall, so it butts up against the left side of the wall right here. 3-burner gas stove. Standard RV size oven for a travel trailer, nothing crazy there. And then 3 drawers right here that are using staple construction for these drawers. And they do not have a support down underneath the base of these. So you can see there's no like additional cross support right here. So that is something to be mindful of how much weight you load into these cabinet doors. Got your storage space underneath here as well. And then a couple designated spots for pantry storage through here. Open this up, got your storage next to the microwave. Microwave is gonna double as an air fryer, which is nice because you do have the oven in addition to that. And back behind here, we also have a knife rack back behind the stove. You're going to have a thermofoil style countertop material here, so it is like a wrapped countertop. And then we have a central vac system right here. You can see it's actually hooked up right now, so you can see what the central vac hose looks like for your central vac. Storage space down there. Not the whole thing is storage because they probably have either something water related underneath there or, you know, some sort of electrical equipment. We got a stainless steel sink, faucet, and we have the floor plan layout and specs right here. So you can see this. Looks like we're at 7,530 pounds with a 1,970 pound cargo carrying capacity. Has an 815 pound hitch weight, 54 gallon fresh, 30 gallon waste, and 39 gallon gray water. 36 feet long in length. So this is something I would definitely put in the, you know, 3/4 ton towable. So something like a 250 or a 2,500 at least. And then you can see all the different, you know, pieces of equipment and whatnot on here if you want to pause the video to read through that. But we go through most of this stuff as we are walking through the camper. Got your storage space up through here and a designated spot for your paper towel rolls. They're already installed. Let's look under here real quick. We got our spot for our trash can. Nice big open area down underneath here. No individual shutoff valves on the water lines. I never understand. I check that on every camper now, and I don't understand why every camper doesn't just do that, because it would not be hard to add that. But they don't all have it, which means basically if you were to get a water leak at some point in time through one of your water lines on this camper, you would just have to shut off the water to the entire camper to stop that leak from occurring while you get it fixed. You have a porcelain foot flush toilet in here. Have a plastic 2-piece shower. The shower does look pretty big. Ceiling height in here in general, pretty considerable. You can see I'm standing at 6'1". Ceiling height in here is gonna probably be at least about, you know, 6'9", 6'10" maybe. So definitely good height on that ceiling. Have your sink set up there. A little bit of countertop space with the shelf, and then we have a mirror right here. Storage next to this area, no like real medicine cabinet, but you have that storage there. Tankless water heater. The shower, again, just great size on this. It does have an upgraded shower head as well. It's the Oxygenics shower head. So you can see right there. As I step into the shower, yeah, ceiling height is right at about 6'1" to the shortest area. So you're good for about 6'5" inside of this shower. And again, that upgraded shower head definitely going to be a nice feature that it comes with. Got your shelving right here above the toilet. And then as we step back this way, going into the bedroom, have a north to south facing bed, so no slide out here in the bedroom either. So just have one small slide in the kitchen space. Looks like this is going to be a king size bed here in the bedroom. As you pull this open, Got your storage space up there. That is some very deep storage, so lots of room in there. I could probably fit most of my wardrobe in that storage across there if I wanted to. That is huge. Then we have some clothing storage here. As I get into the bed, we got our cubbies back into this area. So you can see that here. And then laying in this space, it feels like it might not be the true length of a king bed, but it's probably about 75 inches long, I would think. I don't know that this is a true, 72 by 80 king, but it's definitely bigger than a queen, that's for sure. And I do not hang off the end of this bed with my height, which definitely like that. Down underneath the bed, we have these tubs for storage, and we do have open access to it with the bed down. So you can see you could still get into that with the bed down. And then finally coming this way, got a little bit of storage right here. No washer dryer connections in here if that's something that you're looking for. Spot to mount a TV on the wall. And then you do have a little mirror here as well, so it can kind of be like a mirror for you to see how your outfit looks for the day, but it's also not in the best position either, where it's up so close against the wall you can't really stand fully in front of it. Windows are going to have pull down black pleated shades. So one thing to keep in mind with this, let's see what's going on here. These have curtains so you can fully block off and get privacy for those, but some of these are going to still allow like light to shine through them and still show like a silhouette through those black pleated shades. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you think. As we step outside, last couple things, we have outdoor speakers here. It does have power stabilizers and a propane quick connect line underneath here. Has a really big storage space. Comes with a picnic table as well. And this is really tall in this area. Also, it seems like composite materials around here. Has a little opening door right here. I'm not sure exactly what this is designated for specifically, but if you know specifically what this is intended for, let me know. I'm sure you can run different components through there and whatnot, but I'm not sure what their intention is with that. Composite materials through here, and then we have the little fishing rod area. Love this, so you can put multiple fishing poles there, or maybe anything else that extends down that length, if you can think of any other application for that. Down underneath here, we do have the drop frame that's utilizing that space to give you more area there for that pass-through storage. And then we do have a fully enclosed underbelly down underneath here. 2 20-pound propane bottles, spot for your battery, power tongue jack. And then let's get to the other side real quick, see what we got going on over here. So we come over on this end. I'm curious what's in this door. That's what I really wanted to see. Okay, we got a prep for inverter, 30 amp solar charge controller, and our solar disconnect cable. We do have a spot for that door to stay open. Docking station for water right here as well. So do like that that's inside the door. That's pretty nice. And that means there is probably 200 watts of solar, 220 watts of solar up on the roof. Tankless water heater, black and gray tank dump valves right here. So you can see that there. And then one thing to keep in mind with this, because our valves right here for the gray and the black tank are exposed underneath this area, so basically water will be able to run all the way up to this point where you will then open the valve. That means that if you are using this in below freezing temperatures, all the moisture and liquid in this area can freeze. So that makes this not so much a true 4-season camper because of something like that. And there are other campers out there, usually in a higher price point range, where the valves will be up in the underbelly to prevent that problem. So that's just something to be aware of if you plan on using this year round and in below freezing temperatures. Rack and pinion style through frame slide out. And as we come around this way, you have your, what's this, a 50 amp plug right here. No, 30 amp supply. That's surprising. Okay, 30 amp supply, even though we have 2 ACs. That's because we're getting more efficient air conditioners now. So have the 30 amp, has another drop frame down underneath this back end as well that will lower your ground clearance coming back through here. So that's just something to be aware of as well. It's not like incredibly low, but it's lower than most campers. So that's just something to be mindful of when you're towing this thing around. Spare tire along the back, prep to add a backup camera, and a bracket here for a retractable ladder there. And that is pretty much everything, y'all. So curious your thoughts on what you think about this new Keystone Hideout 315 sunroom. Let me know down below in the comments. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time. Oh, actually, did I touch on the price? I almost let y'all go without talking about the price. I know y'all would not like me for that. Here at this show in Dallas, this is $39,997. So That's right about where I would expect this to be, somewhere in that $30,000 range. So they have it listed at 39, just barely, and kind of touching that $40,000 mark. So curious what you think. Let me know down below in the comments. And until next time, live firmly unbound.